Okay, now I've apparently also taken a screenshot. Love to see it. Contest streams. Hopefully none. But I know better than that. Ash, maybe 2. Push at the very least.
I'll go with 3.
3, yeah. That's a good shout.
Just because in Tier 1 it brought it out because there was debris on the track. I think so too, Rick. I think so too.
Wow, yeah, they are all green. I just noticed. Oh,
Right.
it says since JBS goes red for a moment.
Let's just get going.
Whoa. It's abnormally warm for this time of year. That's global warming for you, though. What's going on? Are some people joining mid-qualifying, or what's
A couple are, yes.
Okay, thank Christ. Why is my PC still on? I swear I turned that off. Oh well. There we go, I'll do it. It's probably going to beep at me again. Hello, Lifebout. Welcome, welcome. Gosh, this is unusual. 3 people watching and 4 likes on the stream. That never happens. Anyway, I'm going to get my script up once again. And once I start saying that, I'll start recording. Because I forgot to do that last time. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to APPF1 Tier 2 for tonight's dose of racing action. I'm Sumo, your commentator this evening for Tier 2. God, I didn't edit this first bit. Gosh, how unprofessional of me. Anyway, and joining me, as always, is my amazing co-commentator, Ghost. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm, this is... Well, it's a sort of a a situation of like the track, don't like the situation which has given us the track.
Yes.
But we are in a virtual world here. We don't need to worry about all of that. And all we need to worry about is how very flowing and entertaining this track can be.
Yeah, certainly. So we head to a circuit that has become synonymous with being a tough circuit for all drivers to cross the line. We head to Saudi Arabia. The Jeddah Corniche circuit is a street circuit that both has the highest average top speed among street circuits, as well as the most corners of any Formula 1 track on the calendar, with 27 corners. This 6.174 kilometre track will be fast, grueling, and a challenge for our drivers to race on. Any other thoughts, Ghost?
Well, yes, it's certainly a challenge around here. It can be very difficult to keep the consistency for all 25 laps because there are so many corners where just one tiny error and you are gone. I found that out in Elite when I bottled a chance at the race win with 1 lap to go. At turn 3, I just turned inside a slight bit too early, tapped the wall, and then I was sent into a spin and into the wall. So those are the margins you have to deal with, and I think Tier 2 are going to have to find those margins pretty quickly and keep their concentration for all 25 laps.
They certainly are. At the moment, let me change my camera type here. There we go. We take a look at the standings now, and after a huge crash in Belgium, Lawrence's lead comes down at the top, finding himself closely followed by Tier in the Williams by just 2 points, with Pommy Alex, Mr. J-Man, and Femi Thrustmaster not in that order. It is J-Man, Pommy, then Femi, all sat 1 point behind the Brit in the Williams on 32 points, with their little Manny Man on 31. So 6 horses in this race so far, and there's definitely plenty more racing to go as far as the drivers is concerned. We move over to the constructors now, with Red Bull with a big lead of 63 points, followed by 48 points from the Williams team, and Alpine on 45 points. And as I said, there's still plenty of races to go. This is only round 3 of 10, so expect those positions to be shaken up. Any insights on the championship thus far, Ghost?
Well, yeah, it's certainly very, very close. But you know, having a small grid each week, as we have done so far this season, unfortunately, does lend itself to a close championship. At the moment, I mean, any one of 6 drivers are in the fight. Femi Thrustmaster, unfortunately, not here today, but otherwise, I think there's so many drivers that if they can keep the consistency going for the next 7 weeks, they will have a real shot at this championship. And this man in the Mercedes, Lawrence, is certainly one of them.
Yes, he's starting his first lap. He will be the driver to set the pace, making his way through Sector 1. Lots of tricky, twisted corners around here. So easy to invalidate here as well, especially in the complex coming up here. These 2 corners are quite tough to get right, and it looks like Lawrence just shakes it up perfectly, riding those curbs in just the right way to cross that first sector line.
Yeah, it's so easy to invalidate at so many places at this track, but Sector 1 especially. You've just got to live with the flow of the circuit. At times it almost feels like the circuit is driving you rather than the other way around. So it's very tricky to stay within those lines, but I think Lawrence is keeping it safe so far, not taking too many risks in this opening lap. Just wants to get a time on the board, because there's nothing worse than having 3 minutes left to go in the session and having nothing on the board.
Yeah, certainly so, and he's getting as close to the walls as he dares in that Mercedes, coming through the final sector now to round that final corner number 27 of 27. As he makes that run up to the line, important to carry the speed. He taps the wall there, a little Max Verstappen moment for our championship leader, but no damage it seems on the Mercedes. He's going to cross the line to set the pace. It's 1 minute 30.4. I think it's Octavian Racer who's going to follow him next in the Alpha Tauri. He opens up that DRS now. He's got a Red Bull just behind him as well, and I think an Alpine about to set laps 2. We're hitting at 35, 31.4, and J-Man with the fastest lap so far, a 1 minute 30.1.
There we go, J-Man setting the pace, as he has done often these the second half of last season and this season so far. Tier also getting himself into 4th place, just above Octavian, our newbie in the AlphaTauri, who I personally hope does well today.
Yeah, certainly. So we're keeping an eye on Octavian Racer there. That's weird. I don't know why it's done that. There we go. Perhaps if we're actually live, so I can see where we are. Yeah, it's a shame it's a slim field today, but I'm sure the racing will be as spectacular as always as little Manny Man sets a 1 minute 31.3 with our defending champion. He's invalidated his lap, so he'll be going round again.
Yep, but Crows is coming up to the line, and he does a 30.9, 8 tenths off J-Man, but still puts him into P4 for now. Lil Manny Man also up to 6th place at the moment, and Pommy Alex, the reigning champ, is starting, I believe, a new lap, maybe invalidated his first one, but he's gone very wide there at I can't remember what turn that is, and that one. So it's not hard to see why he's invalidated his previous lap.
JBS Steve going P5 for Ferrari there at the moment. Not a bad lap from the Ferrari driver as he comes through. I think we're finishing off our runs. LB is currently on a run at the minute, it seems, going through Sector 1. Here's Pommy Alex, defending champion, making his way through Sector 2 now into the first of the 3 DRS zones this track has to offer. Around here, quite a short one actually, and goes into a corner that's not the most ideal place for overtaking. Very scary corner, that one, as it is such a high speed corner. You're taking it in 6th gear, I think, as you just lower down the gear and throw the car into it.
Yeah, it's certainly one you've got to nail, otherwise you're going to lose a lot of time. There's a lot of corners like that on the circuit. LB as well, he's coming to this section of the track, very tricky to nail as well. You can't get too much on that curb on the outside because it will just spin you, because it is raised now like it is in real life. Last year's game it was flat, and so you could go straight over it, but not anymore. As LB comes around the final corner, this looks like a good time. It's coming across the line now. It looks like a great time actually, a 29.1. And wow. I mean, the qualifying madman continues his run, but the real deal is doing it in the race, and so far he has not been able to do that.
No, he has lacked the ability to finish races thus far in Tier 2, and that has been an ongoing struggle for LB as he goes out on his cooldown lap in the Aston Martin. But about a second ahead of Mr. J-Man in the Red Bull. I'm not sure if that time will be beaten. It might do. We've still got 10 minutes or so of qualifying left to go, and we've got some very fast drivers out there. I can keep an eye on the likes of Hitty and Lawrence, Mr. J-Man, so they may surprise you with some great laps.
Yeah, I think that time will be beaten, but not by anyone who isn't called LB Racing 33.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a pretty solid time to put it mildly from LB, 29.1. Rick theorizes that he's on controller due to how he's steering, and to be honest, Sumo, it does look a bit suspicious for a man who said he should be on wheel. The snapbacks to the middle of the steering are a little bit suspect, put it that way.
Just a little bit, and we'll keep the speculation to a minimum, as Muhiti now is making his way through the first sector at the moment in that Alpine. The man who finished second and only lost out on the championship by scheduling conflicts. He'll be looking to make an impression this evening as he makes his way through Sector 1, not invalidating. That's good from the Alpine. He crosses that sector line and he is purple to set the first sector. He's 2 tenths up on his previous best.
Yeah, it's looking good from Muhiti so far in the Alpine. He's currently P4. but obviously a long way off LB, but I think LB is not really the target here. It's going to be getting on the front row. And at the moment, he's doing pretty well to accomplish that. Coming to the end of the second sector now, this DRS zone that wasn't here last year, now it is. And he's 6/10 up, a lot better for Muhiti, so maybe LB's time isn't infallible after all, as the Turkish driver, last season's championship runner-up, comes up to the final corner.
All the way down now, opening up that DRS, really carrying the speed now through this final corner to get the best run on toward the final straight. And down goes Muhiti. Let's see where he goes. It looks like a decent time, not quite going to be fast enough, but it does put him on the front row. It's at 29.6 for the Alpine. I think he's followed by little Manny Man. Notice the other Red Bull. It's Mr. J-Man. Keep your eyes on this man. He's been very quick, but no improvement there. I think he was on an outlap.
Yeah.
So he'll be going around once more.
LB has said in the Discord that he doesn't think he's going to be able to beat that lap. So obviously he was happy with it. But I don't know. We'll see as the session goes on. It is one hell of a banker lap, that's for sure. Mr. J-Man coming through Sector 1 still looks a little bit tentative at some places, but just doesn't want to invalidate, I think. He comes down towards the end of Sector 3/10 up, 3.5. So yeah, that pole time is not quite infallible.
Octavian Racer going into the 1 minute 30s, putting himself P5 in that Alpha Tauri. Let's see, Tommy Alex championship, last year's champion on a slow lap. Where is Krauser? Here he is. He's on a slow lap as well. Lots of drivers opting for. I think he's actually he's not even started his first lap yet, because it takes off the out lap just as you get to the first detection, as you get to the start of the DRS zone. I've noticed down towards the last corner.
Yeah, indeed. Here comes Mr. J-Man now. 24, 25, 26, 27, it's looking good. 28, 29, 26, 29.6. Still 4.5 tenths off LB, but just beats Muhiti onto that front row by 9,000ths of a second.
Wow, that's a solid lap from J-Man. I think he might have a bit more in the tank, especially if LB doesn't think he can improve on his previous attempt. Let's see who else is out on circuit. Lawrence is out, he's on a cool-down lap right now. I think he may have invalidated a previous attempt. It's probably Alex on the lap. He's coming up to some traffic though. Out of the way gets the Mercedes and the AlphaTauri into the runoff area. It's purple to the middle sector for the Australian, making his way down. I believe he was slapped with quite the penalty after Belgium in the stewards. I think it was 10 seconds after his incident with our championship leader Lawrence, and rightly so, I think.
Yeah, it dropped him quite a few places, that did. He's coming up to the line now. It's looking decent. 30.7 puts him 6th for now, but we know Pommy Alex's race pace is what his biggest asset is. He's never really been one for qualifying.
Oh, he got a spinner. That's little Manny Man. He's hit the wall, lost his front wing during Sector 1. There's a lot of debris on the track. That won't be too much bother, I hope. Hopefully not any damage for the car coming up into Pommy on his cooldown track. But that'll be an unplanned trip to the pits for the Red Bull and some time wasted in the session.
Some Ferrari teamwork on track, you know. Crozer giving JB a bit of a slipstream down towards turn 1, as JB now, he's not, by his own admission, he's not had the start to the season that he was hoping for. He comes through Sector 1 very, very offline, will have lost a lot of time going wide at those corners, but he's still half a tenth up. But he can, I mean, if he nails those corners, he can get another 4 or 5 tenths out of Sector 1, but that's the thing, it's nailing those corners is extremely difficult.
Yeah, it really is, and JB did run wide there, but it will cost him a little bit. He ran wide in Sector 1, I saw, as I was riding along, but I didn't quite invalidate the time. Let's see where he is as he crosses that sector line in Sector 2. It's not purple or anything, he's 1.6 seconds down actually, so this is going to be a slowdown lap for the Ferrari. He's backed off and he's going to try again. 3 minutes 45 left in this session.
Tier is still on a lap in the Williams. He's coming through towards the end of sector 2. What's it going to be as he comes across the sector line? He's 2/10 down, so Tier not having the best of laps, but maybe he can bring it back in sector 3. It's a couple of corners, but still there's a lot of time to be gained in those couple of corners. So we'll see as he comes up to the final hairpin.
Yeah, it's all about carrying as much speed as you possibly can through that last corner. Ooh, and a bit of a snap of oversteer, I think, for the Williams driver as he comes through. That's not going to help him out at all. He was 4/10 up, slight improvement, putting him ahead of the 2 Ferraris, but not as high up as he would like. Last week's P2 finish.
Indeed, and he's currently, I believe, P2 or 3 in the standings.
He's P2, he's 2 points behind Lawrence.
Yeah, P2 in the standings, so Tier not having a bad start at all to this season. Obviously, the rain helped him out last week. He had a very good one, but it's whether he can keep it up is the question over the next 7 weeks. Muhiti is he on a lap right now? No, he's coming to the end of an out lap. So he is one to watch in the Alpine. He could be a bet for pole if he can nail this lap.
Yeah, he certainly will be. Car number 2 starting on his lap. Hopefully not Lawson. I hope this time you could finish the race in a decent spot. That will be something good. Don't put yourself down. You've got this. Ash showing the support there as well. 7 people currently watching the stream with 5 likes. If you've not liked the stream already, please do so. It really does help us out over here, as well as subscribing to the channel as well. Very much appreciated. As we continue this qualifying session, I think Muhiti had a little bit of an error there, but he's 2/10 up on his previous best. So LB's time under threat. LB, I don't think he's going to come out for another. Oh no, he spins!
And that's a wing gone. He is not going to be improving. Tier has retired in the pit lane, so he obviously doesn't have enough time left to complete another lap. But that is Muhiti's qualifying over. Such a shame. He had such a good Sector 1 as well. He's going to be kicking himself for that one. Lawrence is about to start his final lap of the session. Mr. J-Man has abandoned his lap. Oh no, I think he's spun as well. There's no end plate on that Red Bull, so LB's time not under threat after all for now, but maybe Lawrence could put it under threat, or Octavian. No, Octavian Race is not on a lap, but he's coming to the final corner. He's about to go on a lap though. Pommy Alex as well, don't forget about him, but I think Lawrence is the main one to watch.
Certainly is. I mean, that's J-Man up there, so Lawrence will be the first of the last runners to cross the line, it seems. As all the others are making their way around, unless Muhiti's on a lap. No, he's on a slow. No, he just crashed, didn't he? So his qualifying is over. So it's Lawrence in the Mercedes then, our championship leader, making his way through Sector 1. That looked pretty tidy there, if I say so myself. That really testing the limits of the circuit there. 3/10 up on his previous best. No purple to the first sector though. He's making his way around this long left-hander. Really got to be patient coming through there into this part of the track.
Yeah, it's all about whether he can nail these next few corners, and that was very tentative through there from Lawrence, but a bit tentative in the first sector as well, I thought, riding on board. So maybe he's just making sure that he improves. He's 3.5 tenths up still. It's not enough to get him any higher, but he hits the curb, like I said earlier.
Lost his front wing, lost a bit of the front wing.
Yeah, if you hit that curb in the wrong way, because it's slightly raised now, it will spin you, and that's what's happened to Lawrence. So he will not be improving. So Octavian Racer has invalidated. What about the reigning champ Pommy Alex? Is he improving? He's coming up to the end of Sector 2. No, he's not improving. Crozer then is the last one left in the Ferrari. He's coming up to the final corner now. Is he going to get an accidental toe from Octavian Racer? A little bit. Final corner he comes to, round the hairpin. Don't do a Max Verstappen. He hasn't, but a little tentative maybe. DRS open. What's it going to be at the line?
I'm not sure it's going to be good enough for pole. It's going to put him into P7 the Ferrari, and that's going to be our qualifying. So LB, with his first and only lap of the session, sits on pole position with a 1 minute 29.1, and he'll have Mr. J-Man for company on that front row. What a qualifying session.
Yeah, that was very exciting. It looked like LB's time was unbeatable to start with, but as the other times started coming down, it suddenly looked vulnerable. But unfortunately, Mr. J-Man and Muhiti both making a fatal error in their final laps. Muhiti improving by 2.5 tenths in Sector 1, but at the very next corner found the wall. So I think we're in for an exciting race.
Yeah, I think so too. Lawrence saying even if he did improve, it would have only seen him P4, and Muhiti about to beat my time by miles. He was until he spun. But anyway, it's not the times that could have been set, it's the times that were set that matter, and LB sets his 1 minute 29.1, seeing him onto pole position, with Mr. J-Man joining him on the front row. Muhiti and Lawrence make up the second row in P3 and 4, with Octavian Racer rounding off the top 5. Pommy Alex rounds off, finishes this qualifying session in P6, with Krauser P7 and Tier P8. JBS Steve, a disappointing quality for the Ferrari driver in P9, with Little Manny Man rounding off the grid.
Yeah, here we go. I just got to message someone who was thinking about joining, but you go on, Sumo.
That's absolutely fine. I need to put my laptop on charge before it dies on me. So that's that's about as interesting as it gets for the time being. Where is the other half of my charger? There it is. I have found it, everybody. Panic is over.
Right, well,
See, it's the little things. It's the little things. You've got to commentate everything you're doing, perhaps. Really does help, especially if we do get some safety car periods. But I'm hoping that we're not getting that. And one thing we're not going to see tonight, like we did in Tier 1, is no rain, thankfully. So there won't be any wet stuff on the circuit tonight.
Yes. Yeah, commentating through your life, that's just something that comes naturally once you've done this for a while. Sumo, he's on his way to the fridge. He's gone there. He's got some water. He's drunk it. Those kind of things. You've got to get in the zone.
Well, that was almost as good as Jackalaka down the inside there, wasn't it? That's going on the commentary moments. I think for the awards next time. Goes to commentating my trip to the fridge.
That's high praise.
Certainly. So here we go then, we're on the formation lap. The drivers are weaving around, and the one thing on our minds is tyre strategy. There is one rogue choice on the grid, and that's Little Manny Man starting on the soft tyres all the way down in P10, with the majority of drivers choosing the medium compound, with it looks like Tier and Lawrence going on to hards.
Yeah, I wonder how that will serve Little Manny Man. He's hoping for an early safety car, and to be honest, it's probably not a terrible decision. It certainly benefited, I believe Rick started on the softs in the elite race around here on Sunday, and it worked for him because there was an early safety car. So, if it plays into Lil Manny Man's hands, it certainly could work for him. But if there is no safety car, he's stuck on a two-stop, unless he wants to try something mad and take mediums all the way to the end. Or, well, I mean, he could go soft hard. It's just
well,
not
B, what are you up to? Taking a wild venture there on the formation. Gosh. No more of that, please. We want you to finish this race and keep it interesting for us. Hate to see drivers crashing out. Hello, Rick. Rick's happy to be mentioned. Dream came true. Don't let it go to your head. Ash unable to spell. chat is full of the usual suspects at the moment, which is very good to see. As we make our way down towards the final corner, predicted strategy then, medium to hard or soft medium. I think hard to mediums will be the option for Tier and Lawrence, all things going smoothly. Wanted to quickly either comes in clutch or just ruins it. Yeah, it really does. I always find that anytime I type something like, you know, by the way, BTW, it always capitalises it. It's really annoying.
Oh gosh, I hate when I put OMW on my phone to mean on my way, and it changes it to on my way! Exclamation mark. God, that's not the tone that I was going for, phone.
Yeah, phone just wants you to shout at everybody.
Yeah.
Oh dear, right, we line up then on the grid for the third time here in Season 6 of APPF1 Tier 2 for what should be an incredible race. A few drivers disqualified, not quite parking in the box properly. I hope I'm going to get a decent camera angle this time. The game not giving it to me. I don't know what's going on with Codemasters at the moment, but it's, yeah, starting errors.
There we
again,
go.
I can't see. There we are. We are off, an amazing start from Lawrence, who has jumped well ahead. I've got an awful view at the moment, but here we go then. LB well ahead for the time being. It's wheel to wheel for the Alpine and the Red Bull as they come through the first couple of corners. It's almost 3 wide as they come down towards turn 4 at the moment. Still side by side with Mahiti ahead, just going around the outside of the Red Bull.
Oh, and Mr. J-Man with a huge slide, and Octavian Racers going down the inside, and he's made the move. Brilliant stuff from the newbie in the Alpha Tauri. He's up to P4, he's cutting a lot of corners in Sector 1, but, you know, sometimes you've got to do that on this track. As LB has a nearly 1 second lead.
Krauser down the inside, sorry, goes to interrupt. He's going to try and get past Mr. J-Man at the minute. The other Red Bulls behind them for company as well. Side by side they go. The Ferrari ahead as they come through the next couple of corners. There's a yellow flag at the moment. Nothing to worry about, it seems, as it's back to green flag racing. There's a few timing glitches on the timing boards there, so ignore those until those are fixed at the moment. But that's Krauser up into P5. A dreadful start for J-Man. A great start for his teammate. He's already up into P7.
Yeah, I was going to say, surely something's wrong with that Red Bull, because he just seems to have no pace at the start here. Compared to what he was in qualifying, he's really dropped back, and he's got a long way to recover now, down to P6, as you say, with his teammate now right behind him on soft tyres, who's going to want to find his way through now.
Yeah, he certainly is. Great start from Muhiti as well, challenging J-Man immediately. Lawrence got a great start. LB completing the first lap, then getting the fastest lap of the race for the time being. Little Manny Man has got his way past. They have swapped over indeed, and Little Manny Man can continue to chase through the field. But a good lap one, no major incidents, which is great. Tommy Alex into the pits, must have been damage for the Australian.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he sustained that. But disastrous start for him. He's going to go on to the... No! There's a spin up ahead. Little Manny Man just getting too much of that curb, and he is off. But so Mr. J-Man promoted back up to P6, but he's lost 1.5 seconds to Crozer. What is going on with this Red Bull Sumo? There must be something wrong here. I can't believe that he's lost this much pace.
Yeah, perhaps the setup is not quite aligned towards a race strategy and race fuel at the moment, or something along those lines. Tier, a little bit of a corner cut there from the Williams. You don't want to do too many more of those, as Octavian Race is the first to get a penalty in this race, and I wish these timing glitches would go away.
It's all fine for me, Sumo, so if you need any information I can give it to you.
Yes, I mean, I can sort of tell the distances by onboards, but it's just very annoying, and it seems I'm always getting start glitches at the moment as well. I don't know why that is.
Well, LB setting the fastest lap, 33.2, and he looks very quick at the moment. Muhiti, 1.6.
Oh, have we lost Ghost?
My controller runs out of battery. Sorry, we've got another one. Octavian Racer, like you say, already getting a penalty, so he'll be very disappointed with that, but he's up to P4 and challenging Lawrence, who is on the hard tyres, mind you.
Yeah, certainly. He'll be struggling for the first few laps, especially with these medium runners around him. But Octavian Racer looking good on his debut at the minute, sat P4, but that penalty, like we say, will hamper him. There seems to be a bit of a battle going on here as Mr. J-Man has found some pace once again and is now challenging the Ferrari of Crozer. He's all over the back of that Scarlet car.
He certainly is, and Crozer under huge pressure now. He's not finished a race yet so far this season, has the Ferrari driver, and Mr. J-Man finds the space. Great stuff from the Red Bull, and Crozer has to yield. So Mr. J-Man back up to P5, and but I think Crozer is more interested in just finishing this race, given his record so far this season.
Yeah, that was some very close margins there between the two of them. Incredible racing. Again, the AlphaTauri very close to the back of Lawrence, practically pushing him through the corner. LB has shot off into the lead, as all of my timings now seem to have fixed themselves, thankfully, with Muhiti also in no man's land himself, as Lawrence is going to come under pressure. If Octavian Racer can make Lawrence use some of those tyres, he might find himself a little bit compromised later on.
He might well do. As those mediums are going to start struggling. Well, I say struggling. You don't really struggle for tyres on this track. It's more that you have to pit at some point, otherwise you're going to get a puncture. But really, the wear isn't so bad on this track. You can drive on 60% and not feel too much difference. So it's just going to be about how long you can sustain those tyres for, and how long it's beneficial to stay out before you're going to have to pit to get some fresh rubber on. But yeah, I think it's more about efficiency than risk of spinning on this track.
Yeah, certainly so. And all of F1 is a lot about consistency, and the harder the track, the more prevalent that becomes in a circuit like this.
Muhiti!
It's clear, Muhiti's
talking about consistency.
No damage, it seems, for that Alpine, but he's got to try and turn the car around without getting in too many people's way. But he is plummeting down the order and has fallen all the way back to P9 at the moment, trying not to hit the barriers. This is going to be a huge bump in the road, as his teammate does the same thing and spins a little bit further back. Horrifying stuff for Alpine.
What a terrible lap for the Alpine team. Both cars spinning at different points in the track, and Muhiti, that must have felt like the longest 15 seconds, the longest three-point turn of his life. That was painful to watch.
Indeed, and Octavian Racer, I was just watching him, well, not on board, but I was just following along as Lawrence runs wide through this sector. Octavian Racer looked very quick for those first couple of corners, and I'm not sure how legal that overtake's going to be, Ghost.
Yeah, he definitely cut the corner. If he got a warning for that, then Lawrence could have a very good case to report him. But I mean, for now, he is up to P2. It was a mistake from Lawrence, to be fair, as it looks like Muhiti has spun again in Sector 1.
Oh, such a shame for Muhiti in the Alpine, but I'm sure the stewards might have a look at that if there is a case. But Lawrence seems to be falling back. I think he might have clipped the wall and got some damage at some point.
Perhaps, yeah, he's really falling off. It could also just be the hard tyres. They do struggle until sort of 5, maybe 6 laps in comparison to the mediums. But look at that straight line speed on Lawrence, nearly catching up.
Mr. Chairman having to take evasive action. He's gone down the inside. He was caught out almost by the braking Mercedes, and has made the move stick, but this could be free wide as they come down to the first couple of corners. It is going to be free wide as they go along. The Red Bull and the Mercedes still side by side. This is Hakkinen Schumacher levels of racing as they come through these first couple of corners. Octavian Racer getting involved now as well, but he backs off quite sensibly. They're still side by side, the Red Bull and the Mercedes, but the Mercedes yields to the Red Bull and has to sit back. But here comes Lawrence once again, looking for a way past the Red Bull. Close margins between these two. Mr. J-Man, who was struggling on these opening laps, has found some pace and now finds himself back into second place.
Octavian was just a complete sitting duck there. They both flew past him on the straight, but he's back down to P4 now, but back in the game really, because he's going to have the DRS now. I think these three are going to be battling for a good little while, as Lawrence has now picked himself up a 3-second time penalty as well, and I do wonder how costly that's going to be at the end, as both him and Octavian nearly spin at the same corner.
Tears. That's a big clip of the wall. He might have some olive damage there. Oh, that's an amazing camera shot as the helicopter follows these two cars along. But Krauser and Tier getting involved in some of the racing action.
Octavian seems a very sensible driver, which I really like. Isn't going for the minute gaps. Or the gaps that look like they're there, but if you have some a head on your shoulders, a racing head on your shoulders, you can see that it's going to close quickly.
Here comes Lawrence again. He's going round. He's having to use a lot of battery. He's got very little left, it seems, at the minute, but he gets ahead of that Red Bull with the aid of the DRS. And these two swapping positions once again. Mr. J-Man going to attack. Very little ERS for him too. Octavian Racer, practically full battery.
Yeah, he's just watching and waiting. Very clever stuff from Octavian. The debutant clearly has got some experience under his belt, but going wide a lot of corners in Sector 1 so far this race as Krauser spins. The next victim of Sector 1 is the Ferrari, and he's going to be all the way down as his teammate has to just about avoid him as he comes back on the track. But that's four drivers, both all spinning out from various points in this race now.
Gosh, no, that's like having to avoid your teammate at the last minute, almost sort of race and sprints in tragedy, as I think Starry had spun out. This is a few games back now, and I had to just avoid him, and I went on to finish P3 in that race. So the best race I've ever run. But we're not talking about that one, we're talking about this one. It's DRS once again for Mr. J-Man. That straight line speed advantage is going to be quite prevalent here. Look at him closing in on that Mercedes. Not quite close enough on this occasion. Not really got the battery to launch an attack at the minute, but who does? It's Octavian Racer. He sits behind in wait. We're going to have another round, are we? Down towards turn 1 and 2. I'm not quite sure. No one close enough yet. There's that red flashing light on the back of the Mercedes. The other two drivers behind will be paying close attention to that, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I think Lawrence is running very low wings compared to these two, because he just seems to be an absolute rocket on the straights, and it's only really slight mistakes before long straights that have cost him positions so far. I think he's going to be a tough cookie to get past, but meanwhile LB is 7.5 seconds clear as a result of all this.
Yeah, he's just out for a nice relaxing drive at the moment, yeah. But the commentator's curse could come and bite him just by this mere mention of ALPR race leader.
Yes, indeed. He's the curse is placed. It's how long it takes now. But these three behind him, this is the real battle. They're all fighting still, but Mr. J-Man the only one without a penalty, and I think if he can keep that going for the whole race, it's going to pay dividends at the end.
It certainly is, and look, that gap's closing once again. Mr. J-Man on the attack again. He saved up a bit of battery this time. Going to open up that DRS. No, he hasn't got DRS, interestingly, but he's gone for the move. Around the outside goes the Mercedes. At the minute, they're going to continue to be side by side. Octavian Race is going to look to get involved as well. DRS open for the next part of the track. Mr. J-Man's going to try and jump ahead. Octavian Racer on the attack too. Mercedes trying to stay defensive. He's got to fight two cars at the same time. He's gone incredibly deep. That's going to open the door for the Alpha Tauri. He's going to swoop around the outside and get ahead of Lawrence. I think this battle could go on all race, Ghost.
It could well do. as Octavian now got to chase after Mr. J-Man. And don't forget, Lawrence is going to be on much better tyres than these two in the second stint. So it could work out for him in the end, getting on those medium tyres for the second stint. But for the moment, it must be painful to be in that Mercedes and just go deep at turn one and see both cars just careen past you.
Yeah, certainly so. But Lawrence is no quitter. I think he'll continue to run this campaign for as long as he can, as he continues to fight off J-Man and Octavian Racer at the moment, but J-Man once again in P2.
Don't forget, Lawrence is also obligated to run no racing line for Tier 2. So this is a particularly tough track with no racing line. So it's not surprising to see Lawrence not really fighting LB for the win. But as it stands, he's still extremely competitive. Just, you can see the odd mistakes popping in here and there, but he's still very, very quick and a real threat for at least P2.
Yeah, certainly. That's so. Coming down again, I don't think there's going to be much of an attack. The Mercedes looking left, right, left, right. Oh, well, that was very late from the Mercedes. I think he's got damage. He does. Yeah. No right end plate for the Mercedes. I think he was trying to go around the outside, dummying to the inside and braking far too late. That is the cost of no racing line here at this circuit. I think a commentator's curse has manifested itself in that moment.
I think he just missed his brake marker board. I did that in Elite as well. So you're in good company, Lawrence. I got the 50 board instead of the 100 board and just went straight on. So he's got a recovery to do now, but I think he's going to be on the medium tyres for the rest of the race. And I think there's still potential in that Mercedes, but perhaps the podium might be out of reach unless anything else drastic happens in this race.
Yes, certainly so. And speaking of drastic, it's sort of become quite the opposite at the moment, as all of the cars have become very spread out, so no real shuffling until pit stops. Probably Alex is in the pits, soft set the tyres for the Australian, it seems. After a poor race, he may even get lapped eventually.
Yeah.
As he finds himself lamenting down. He'll be praying for a safety car before that happens. So. But it doesn't look like it's on the cards just yet. LB continuing his very lonely race out in the front. Mr. J-Man seems to have found a groove now and is sort of sitting in it and is keeping Octavian Racer modest. And that gap's dropping. Lawrence in the pits, changing that wing damage, and it's going to be onto mediums.
Yep, that should be to the end for Lawrence. He should be able to get them all the way. JB, just behind him, the Ferrari, enters the pit lane as well. As Muhiti also into the pits for, I'm not sure what reason, perhaps a new front wing on that Alpine. Crozer, I'm not sure, he's coming to the final corner, but Lil Manny Man, as a result of all that, promoted to P6. Yeah, some odd pit stops going on. I think perhaps some slight damage occurring on some cars.
Yeah, very easy to pick up around here. The walls are so close. It's just crazy. And as you were saying about the no line, I think I sometimes struggle with having just corner lines around this track. I find it very hard to know exactly where to be. Mostly because I've not done too much of this over the last couple of games. It's been on the camera.
Yeah, indeed. It looks like we've reached a low point in the race. I think, well, if someone does end up binning it, which could well happen, we've got a couple of cars on fresh, hard tyres. Lawrence on fresh mediums as well, but they're going to take a little bit to get up to temperature. Octavian gets a penalty, for pit lane speeding. And how costly is that going to be as Tier also comes in the Williams. He's running well so far. He's going to go on to the mediums to the end.
Yeah, he's doing very well at the moment. Is that Williams? It'll be good for his current campaign. Let's see where he comes out. Lawrence is going to get ahead of him, it seems. He was far enough in front of Williams beforehand.
Manny Man's going to jump him too.
out ahead of the Mercedes, little Maniman jumping into the pits as well.
Oh.
But yes, these gaps are opened up.
Oh, little Manny Man just about jumping Tier there. Tier just coming out the pits just behind him, but I think that Williams is going to be on the back of that Red Bull pretty soon. And little Manny Man's going to have to watch his back. Tier did have some wing damage in the pits as well that he had to repair, I noticed, so that's why he's dropped off. But I think this is going to be the battle on track pretty soon. Octavian Racer 22 seconds behind Mr. J-Man for now, but he's going to be looking to maximise those hard tyres and perhaps reduce the gap a little bit with an undercut.
Yeah, fastest lap goes to Pommy Alex, 1 minute 32. I didn't quite see the last number, but he's on those soft tyres at the moment. He might hope that nobody beats that for the time being, but here comes Tier and the Williams opening up that DRS. I don't think he'll put an attack on here. I think it might be down into the next DRS zone where the Williams has to think about it, but he's looking quick on these fresh mediums.
Top two into the pits in the meantime, both onto the hard tyres to the end. Where's Mr. J-Man going to come out in relation to Octavian is the question, and is Tier going to be able to overtake Lil Manny Man into turn one? I think so, as Lawrence now sets the fastest lap on the mediums.
32.5, so Lawrence trying to get back into this. He's quite close now to
Tier.
Octavian, but the gap not the best. But yes, here comes Tier down the inside of the Red Bull. It's going to be a pretty simple move, I think. He gets way onto the curb. Might have got himself a warning for that, but he gets the position and is going to continue his run as he sits P5 for the time being. But he does have that penalty though, so he'll have to open up, and another 3-second time penalty for Octavian Racer. I think that's going to put him up to 6. Oh, he's on 11 seconds of penalties actually.
Yeah.
So that's 5-second time penalty for pit lane speeding.
Yeah, he's going to end up dropping off the podium as it stands, which would be a shame. He's driven so well, but you know, you've got to stay on the track, as Crozer demonstrates that point as well, getting himself a 3-second time penalty. Lil Manny Man has already dropped off Tier. He didn't really fight the Williams into turn one. He sort of braked late and then decided, actually, I don't really want to go around the outside here of a car that's faster than me. I'll just let him go. Which, you know, absolutely fair enough. And now Lawrence is catching Octavian at a rate of knots on those fresh medium tyres, and the championship leader is not done yet. No,
certainly not. The thing that's going to let him down a bit is the battery, but with the low rings that we think he's running, that's not going to matter too much if Octavian Racers are running a higher downforce setup.
Absolutely. Is Pommy Alex in any danger of being lapped? Not yet, because LB's just pitted. But if Pommy does have to pit again, he could be in danger of being a lap down, and that would be his race firmly over. He'd be securing P10. But as it stands, it doesn't look like he's going to get any higher than that anyway.
No, it doesn't seem like it, but Lawrence really using that medium tire to the advantage. And again, Octavian, he's struggling in that quick sector at the end of sector 1 there, running wide or cutting the corner entirely. So that's where Lawrence is catching him very quickly as well. The gap 4 tenths at the moment as that Mercedes makes chase through the second sector.
Oh, he's gotten another time penalty though, and Octavian, well, the only thing saving Lawrence now is Octavian's 5-second pit lane speeding penalty, but he won't want to rely on that, the Mercedes. He'll want to get past and stay ahead to secure this podium, as Octavian makes a huge error, and this is the opportunity Lawrence needed. Round the outside, DRS open, there's no chance for the AlphaTauri. Look at how he flies past. He is definitely running some kind of 0-0 wings going on there with Lawrence.
Yeah, certainly. So he's a rocket in the straight. But Octavian is going to come back at him. It seems they're not going to do too much. That low wing setup really working maybe, but the AlphaTauri has a look to the inside, brakes late as he dares, but doesn't manage to pull alongside the Mercedes for an overtake. And it's back to 1 by 1 they go as they make their way through the first sector.
Yeah, Lawrence is an absolute rocket. He had no ERS, no DRS, Octavian was using overtake and he had DRS and he caught him by maybe 3/10. So yeah, Lawrence going to be very, very difficult to get past. It's going to need a mistake for anyone to get past him, and at the moment it seems like the best he can do is 3rd place, but you never know. When is that LB Racing bottle going to happen?
When indeed. Lawrence's next target will be Mr. J-Man. He'll want to try and get ahead and as far as he can. He's got 11 laps to do so. And again with this shot, I love this shot down here. This helicopter shot following the drivers into turn, I think that's 21. My favourite corner on this track, especially when you get it right. But and it's all the way down here too. Imagine having some more cars than just that Mercedes barreling down toward that last corner.
Yeah, indeed. It is a shame for the low numbers, but it's not much we can do. We're doing our best to increase the numbers, and a few new recruits have joined us since last week, notably Octavian Racer, who's having a great debut. But yeah, sometimes you just got to race with what you get. And at the moment, we've had a decent race around Jeddah, and everyone's kept it very clean, which is always lovely to see. We've got Tier in P5 as well. Has he got 6 seconds or 3 seconds? It's 3. So at the moment he's sort of battling with Little Manny Man for P5.
Yeah, battle of time at the moment. Hello Nick Huffkins, welcome to the stream. Make sure you've liked if you haven't done so already. And cheering on Mr. J-Man, who is doing very well after a poor opening laps.
Yeah, he certainly is. It was a terrible first lap, and I thought something was wrong. Maybe there was something wrong with his wheel and or pedals, who knows? And he's managed to fix it. But we've got another spinner. That's, I think, Crozer. It is. He has gone again. I think same corner. He is not having a good time in that first sector as he gets going again. But now he's behind Muhiti, so a place gained for the Turkish driver, which he'll at least be somewhat placated to see.
Yeah, it must have been a very lonely race up until that point. And speaking of lonely races, Pommy Alex, he's got LB just behind him, and I think the game is showing blue flags, so he's about to get lapped, I think. Oh, no. Is the Australian, so this could be race over for the Alpine if he doesn't get a wiggle on. He's just pitted for some fresh mediums, so that'll be why he's been caught up by an LB, but at the moment he stays ahead.
Well, yeah, but he was a lot further ahead when he came out the pits. He certainly wasn't with the Aston Martin right behind him like he is now, so I think perhaps another small error from Pommy that we didn't catch has brought him in the firing range of LB. As Tier's out! He's retired from the session in Sector 1. We do have a safety car, and it's just in time for Pommy Alex.
Here we go then, some spice added to the race at last. It's unfortunate it comes at the expense of one of our drivers, but that is sometimes the way racing goes, and we do have a safety car. That's going to invite some drivers into the pit lane. Krauser will be happy, he's having a wing replacement right now. And onto the soft tyres is the Ferrari, and I think a few other drivers might just follow suit. Pommy Alex will be giving off a sigh of relief at the sight of that safety car, because he had LB pressuring him. And what does that do to LB then? The man who was sat for 17 laps undisturbed by anybody has now got to restart this race and be under threat from the likes of J-Man and
in
Lawrence.
The pits. He cut the pit lane line. I don't know if that will get reported. We'll see. Lawrence in as well. Is anyone going to chance it and stay out? Maybe Octavian Racer? No, he's in as well, so no one chancing it. Everyone going on to the softs. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, no more 5 seconds for him, so he'll be back in the fight. But yeah, Lawrence on the mediums, I think that's a more sensible choice, to be honest. The softs will be really struggling by the last couple laps, but maybe they'll be far enough ahead by that point for it not to matter. Octavian also choosing the mediums and replacing a front wing. I didn't know he had damage. It does make sense now thinking about it.
Interestingly,
yes, he has.
I think. I don't know if I think he might have started on a set of mediums though. No, he started on softs.
Yeah, no. So he can go to the end on those. It will be tricky, but he can do it, and he doesn't have a penalty, and that's possibly why he's done what he's done. If he can keep Octavian behind for even a lap or so, it will give him a good stead to perhaps gain a few positions on penalties. Muhiti has also stayed out for an unknown reason. Perhaps he's already used all of his mediums, but he stayed out on the hards. JB and Crozer, the two Ferraris, in for softs, and Pommy Alex, of course, staying out to avoid getting lapped.
Yes, certainly so. But he's on fresh mediums as well,
yeah,
more or less. So staying out is a sensible option for the Australian. But he will be relieved for that safety car to come out. Not just because it means he stays in the race, but he gets back in the race, as he's been out of it since the first lap.
Absolutely. It's such a shame for Tier. He was just 2 points behind the championship leader coming into this race, but now that is going to set him a long way back. As Lawrence and Mr. J-Man both sitting on the podium at the moment. Pommy Alex, as we say, down in P9, so he's going to lose out on quite a few points today. And Little Manny Man, as it stands, would overtake him in the championship standings.
Yeah, speaking of championship standings, the results as they stand right now are great for Red Bull, who are going to continue to rocket ahead, especially after Alpine's poor showing today.
Oh, that's such a shame. I just watched Tier's crash back. He's just gotten a bit too much oversteer out of turn 4, and overcorrected himself into the wall on the inside of turn 5, and that's the end of his race. So such a shame for him, but I'm sure he'll be back next week, ready and waiting to go again, because until now he's been having a great season.
Yeah, he certainly has, and it is a shame to lose him, but as I say, it is the way it goes sometimes in motorsport. I think we're going to be out for maybe one more lap, maybe two. Depends how quickly those Krauser and Pommy Alex can catch up to that safety car. They have a long way back.
Yeah, they are. I think we might be another couple of laps, but it will be close. It will definitely be close. Lap 19.
The soft runners.
Yes, absolutely. So Lawrence will be disappointed if it does stay out. In particular, Octavian Racer as well, perhaps. But the Ferraris are going to be ones to watch, I think, especially Crozer. He is not shy at all of some audacious moves we've seen in the past. So we will see. But both of them on a recovery drive at the moment, and Muhiti still on the hards. Is going to find it hard. I think he's going to get absolutely swamped very quickly.
Yeah, I think so too. But hopefully audacious moves don't become reckless from any of our drivers under this period, but I trust that they are all going to try and keep it as clean as possible. I think we're going to be going for one more lap under safety car. That Ferrari is just about caught up now, with Pommy Alex about one corner behind.
I think riding on board with Pommy Alex, I think he was sort of playing a bit cleverly here, just lifting off a little bit to make sure the safety car stays out another lap. I think that's what he was doing there. So yeah, quite wily, it has to be said, from the Australian, but you know, it's
although if you can time it correctly, if you're right at the back as Kraus is coming to the pit lane, another set of softs for the Ferrari, so fresh softs for Crozer. But if you can time it right, you can join back into the race just as the restart goes along, and you're already at full speed. I mean, yeah, you can't overtake until the starting line, but your tyres are already to temperature.
You would need a monumental amount of luck for that to work, though. And also, I think I don't think the safety car will come in until you've caught up to the back anyway. So yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't. It depends. I mean, if you get the lap count down, it's like, oh, we're going no matter what. I've had last two laps of racing. But So I've been in a position or two like that. I think Brazil maybe. I want to say a few safety cars. I've had to catch up and have just caught up in the nick of time.
Yeah, I've seen it before as well. It's it can happen. You do have to be lucky, but it can happen. But this time, Pommy Alex just choosing to make sure it stays out one more lap. We're going to get 5 laps of green flag racing, with everyone back close together again. It's basically it's really what we wanted to see, isn't it, Sumo? You never like to see a safety car, but in this case, I think we did.
Yeah, I think so. It's just going to add that little bit of energy into the race that we needed. I think everybody sort of was doing their own thing, and I think we just needed some more close, those gaps to come down a little bit, and safety car is going to be in. I've just realised as well that I didn't stop my recording after qualifying, so the first recording is going to be qualifying and 20 laps of the race, and then the safety car restart will start the second part of the recording. So it's going to be a bit of a weird one to post on the APPF1 channel in a few days' time. But anyway, LB is going to lead us off and restart this race. The safety car just peeling into the pit lane now on the right side of your screen, and LB is weaving and weaving and weaving as the cars make their way down to the final corner. When does LB go? He's got any minute now that he can go. I think he's going to wait to the last possible moment, perhaps. Really doing I think it was Bottas who did this, I think, in real F1, but I think he's gone. He has, yeah, and Mr. J-Man almost putting the Mercedes and Lawrence into the wall, and the Red Bulls are under attack, but the other one is on the attack on the Mercedes as well. Lawrence trying to find a way past it again. He misses his braking zone. Luckily not to hit any other cars or take damage, but he's going to lose places to not just Little Manny Man, but to Octavian Racer as well. Those two are racing. They both have 6 seconds of penalties, and that is going to be a poor restart for the Mercedes at the moment. But LB has got away incredibly cleanly. He's got Mr. J-Man though 5/10 down the road, so Mr. J-Man will be on the run at the minute. There's some close racing going on. It seems a bit further back from my co-commentator's reactions at the minute.
Yeah, Lawrence nearly spun it right in front of Muhiti, managed to save the car, but Muhiti had to take avoiding action, and Lawrence now trying to go around the outside of Little Manny Man. He's made it stick. He's back up to P4 again, but the Red Bull, again with no penalties, nearly goes into the back of the Mercedes, but he spun himself! Oh, Little Manny Man! He's lost his wing. He's still in the race though. He will still score points today, but that is going to be devastating for him. He could have had perhaps even a podium today. He's going to be gutted, but now that promotes Muhiti up to P5 on the hard tyres, which is a shock. Crozer is P6 on those softs, fresh softs, but Mr. J-Man putting huge pressure on the race leader LB, who's currently on track for a Grand Slam. But if Mr. J-Man can get past him, he could snatch it away.
Yeah, he certainly can. LB's got to go into defensive mode. He hasn't had to do that all race, so he's going to have to try and get some racing done on the circuit, and some battles going on up and down. Muhiti could be in for a podium here if he manages to keep it well, but he's also got Krauser for company as well. What does that do? We've got Alpine and Ferrari furiously battling from P5 down to P8 at the moment, and Muhiti's fallen back a little bit now, and he's going to be struggling on these hard tyres.
Little Manny Man falling back is... oh, Pommy Alex is out!
Pommy Alex!
He's out! I don't know what's happened there. We've got another safety car, lap 22. I'm surprised it's putting out another one. So it's going to be out for only a lap, because we will go straight back to green flags afterwards. It seems very odd that it's put one out, but anyway. Little Manny Man will be able to get back in the race, so he'll be happy. But he might not be able to catch up. It will be close, and yeah, some extra drama at the end. I'm sure we'll see what happened to Pommy Alex, whether he binned it or whether there was contact. We'll have to find out, but Mr. J-Man's going to be frustrated. I think he had some momentum there, and now he's going to have Octavian Racer for company at the end.
Yeah, he certainly will, but this will help out their tyre life at the moment, back under slower conditions, so those mediums won't be as much of a threat as they could have been going forward. But they had quite they had quite the fortunate go of things as to break away from the likes of Lawrence, Octavian, and Little Manny Man, who all got involved in a bit of a scuffle at turn 1.
Lawrence into the pits, maybe some damage on that Mercedes. Remember, he tapped the wall before, so is he replacing that wing? No, he's not. Just he's going onto the soft tyres. I'm surprised. I thought he would stay out, but he clearly thinks that he can gain more positions on those softs than he would by staying out and putting pressure on Octavian. It's going to be quite the ending to this race. The safety car will be in this lap no matter what. I don't think Little Manny Man is going to be able to catch up. It's going to be close.
Yeah, it's going to be close. He's going to have to drive as fast as he can if he wants to catch back up to that safety car queue at the moment. But he may not be able to do it. We'll wait and see. It'll be as they pass the detection zone at sector 3, it'll be a defining moment. That will be when the safety car is likely to be called in as they make their way around that long left-hander at the moment. We are currently neutralising this race, but that will not last much longer.
After racing around at the back for goodness knows how long, look now who is on track for a podium. Muhiti 11 in the Alpine. Absolutely unbelievable that he's found himself here. Octavian's got 6 seconds of penalties in front. He's expressing his frustration in the Discord about the safety cars ruining his 6 seconds. Making his 6 seconds of penalties matter a lot more than they would otherwise. And he could end up being demoted down a couple of positions, maybe even 3 if Lil Manny Man managed to catch up. Safety car is in this lap, so Lil Manny Man, it's going to be very close for him to get on the back of the pack.
Will LB do the honourable thing and slow down enough for Little Manny Man to catch up? I think Little Manny Man will just catch up here.
He will.
Yeah, he will. Just about. He'll have the best tyres of everybody.
Absolutely. So who knows what he can still accomplish. He's just got to not bin it, and he will gain some positions on penalties. But we saw him bin it at the last safety car restart, so we will see. LB just waiting to go. Mr. J-Man finding, there we go. LB's gone. Mr. J-Man stays with him. Octavian is can't stay with him. Muhiti's putting him under pressure. Lawrence putting JB under pressure further back as well. Here they go up to turn 1. Lawrence up to P5 already.
Yeah, simple move for the Mercedes of Lawrence. There's a Ferrari round. That's Krauser. Oh, Muhiti spun!
Oh no! After all of that, he was on track for a podium, but not anymore. It's all gone to pot. And now Lawrence is in a fantastic position. He's just got to get past Octavian and he'll have himself a podium. And he's got so much better tyres. He's got 1.5 laps to do it as they come through Sector 1.
I don't think he will have that podium. That 6 seconds is going to hamper Lawrence, I think, as well. Remember, Lawrence has 6 seconds of penalties if we get...
Octavian has 6 penalties as well. Oh, yeah, true.
So
JB and Lil Manny Man. Yes, yeah, you're right.
He's on track for that podium as long as he stays within that 6 seconds. But it's a 4-horse race at the moment. This could be a very interesting closing laps for this race. Little Manny Man on the attack as well on JBS Steve a little bit further back. We're watching the battle toward the front as Lawrence all over the back of this AlphaTauri now. These two are racing, so it's all to play for here. He's very close. Here's our championship leader at the moment. There are points on stake. There are championship leading points on stake at the minute as they come down this very long straight at the moment. There'll be no DRS for these final couple of laps, so it's all going to be on sheer pace alone. Meanwhile, Little Manny Man has made his way past the Ferrari. They're going to go wheel to wheel into this next couple of corners. At the minute, they're going to continue to go side by side. I don't know. Ahead goes Lawrence as well. In front, he's side by side with Octavian Racer, but he's ahead way before the corner. Does Octavian make a late diving move? He does not, sensibly so. He's got 1 lap to try and get ahead of Lawrence. Meanwhile, J-Man got to put the pressure on LB. This is for the race win, these two chasing each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Them two still locked together. We've got yellow flags. That's Muhiti going again, but LB a little bit wide there, and a penalty could decide it. Remember, if one of them gets a warning at this last lap, that could be it. Mr. J-Man getting a really good run out of that last corner of Sector 1. He's nearly at the back of that Aston Martin. We could have a move into the final corner, I think, Sumo. Especially if LB makes a small error. It's going to be very, very close.
Yeah, it is, and that gap's only coming down, and it looks like it could be a double Red Bull podium as well, as long as little Manny Man can keep things clean and on the road at the minute. But we're watching LB chased by Mr. J-Man and Lawrence and Octavian Racer. Those guys aren't in the race. It's between the Red Bull and the Aston Martin. LB has gained some places now, and a mistake from J-Man that's going to see the lead slip away, and Lawrence now is going to make his way past Mr. J-Man at the moment. They're going wheel to wheel at the minute. J-Man not giving him the room to get past at the minute. Lawrence is going to try and go all the way around the outside at the moment, but very close between them. But LB, the man who doubted himself, said he was going to crash out, wins the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix with Mr. J-Man coming up in second. Is P3 awarded to Manny Man? It is.
And Lawrence securing the fastest lap as well at the end, but it's a double Red Bull podium. Lil Manny Man's going to be delighted with that. It's the two men on the podium, as it were, with LB taking the win. JB promoted to 4th as well in the end. Lawrence and Octavian have to settle for 5th and 6th, which they'll be disappointed about. After the safety cars made those 6 seconds matter, but sometimes that's why you've got to keep it clean, because sometimes it doesn't go how you would expect.
No, it certainly doesn't, but wow, what an incredible end to the race. Some drama to go with, and quite a successful Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, if I do say so myself, with LB coming out on top. Well deserved for the man in the Aston Martin. He's had a terrible first couple of races, and doesn't count as a Grand Slam if he doesn't get fastest lap, does it? I don't think it does.
No, it doesn't.
Not quite, but pole to a flag. LB is your winner this evening.
Yeah, it didn't come easy though. He had a Sunday drive for a lot of the race, but it got very tense towards the end. Mr. J-Man so close to getting past, but just that mistake on the last lap cost him an opportunity. And LB was allowed to get to the line. Muhiti is devastated in Discord that he's bottled that podium, but he is still going to get some decent points today as LB gets on the podium to celebrate.
Are we moving over for interviews, Ghost, today?
Yes, let's do it. I will move over to the Tier 2 party.
Podium sitters at the moment. We'll run you through the final finishing order of this evening. We have LB then finally taking a win this season in Tier 2, winning the race, joined on the podium by the two Belgian drivers, Mr. J-Man and Little Manny Man, with JBS Steve finishing P4 and Lawrence rounding off the P5, rounding off the top 5 after a penalty with fastest lap as well, so that'll be an extra point for the Mercedes. Octavian Racer on his debut coming home P6 with Krauser 7, Muhiti 8, and Pommy Alex and Tier unable to finish the race.
Yeah, absolutely. Pommy Alex pleading in the chat that in the Discord that he gets the nearly 90% rule that Mr. J-Man got last week, but I don't think he was quite. I don't think he was quite close enough for that. But regardless, we've got the two Red Bulls have joined us. I don't know if LB is going to eventually, but
hold on, Ghost. I'm just going to record this separately and input that as a separate thingy.
Absolutely fine. While you're doing that, I'll just say to both Red Bull drivers, make sure in your party audio settings you've got the setting for I think it's always allow voice to be shared, and make sure that's always allow, so that your voice appears on the stream. I can hear you, it's whether the stream can hear you is the thing.
Okay.
But as long as that setting is on, it should be fine. I don't know if LB is going to join us, but I'll just wait for Sumo to give us the okay, and then we can launch into interviews.
I mean, I'm all ready to go. There
and LB's here, so there we go. Go for it, Sumo.
Where we started? Starting with
LB. Let's start with the winner. Yeah.
LB. Let me scroll back through the chat just a second. Where did we start with? Normal routine routines for me. Quali equals good race equals DNF. I'd say that was quali equals good race equals P1.
Yeah, that one was tough. I've not finished yet in a race, so it's nice to finish. It's nice to have a win as well. So that's a 100% win record for every race that I finished, which I don't think anyone in Tier 2 holds. So that's a stat that I'll happily take. I didn't. I was not happy when I saw the safety car. A few words that I won't repeat came out of my mouth. Because I was enjoying managing the gap, and then Mr. J-Man of all people to have right behind me was fun.
Yeah, well, it was. You must have had your heart in your mouth at the end there, but obviously when you're leading by 8 seconds or so, there's a part of you that wants to relax, but there's also must be a part of you which is saying, don't bottle it now, don't bottle it, especially after your record so far this season. So, what do you have to do to stay focused when you're in that situation?
I don't know, to be honest. I've literally spent so much time just doing Saudi, usually I don't really practice. It's like I do just see it's just a game, but with Saudi I was just practicing. I was on with JB, just like constantly going through everything. I was just feeling good with it. So I don't know how I'm going to do next race, but yeah, it felt good. Especially like with the start, I got a good start, and everyone else behind was battling. And then I was a bit worried about my hitty because he's extremely fast, but then he made a few mistakes. But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really relaxed, if I'm honest with you. I couldn't relax, especially after the safety cars.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, do you have anything else to add, Sumo? Another question?
No, not really. It just seemed that you managed to handle the pressure well, and it's nice to actually see you finishing a race for once. Huge congratulations for going all the way from pole position to the flag.
Yeah, nicely done.
Yeah, well done, LB. So we'll move on to the second place finisher, and Mr. J-Man, you are the Tier 2 Championship leader after a great race. You nearly had LB at the end there, though. Talk us through that last lap.
Habibi, welcome to Saudi. First of all, yeah, the last lap. The thing was, after the first safety car, I had a chance to go past LB, but I didn't want to because I thought let's save all the battery for the last lap. But then another safety car came, and I just messed up one turn, and after that, yeah, he was gone. So, well, that's it. But I'm still very happy about my second place because my start I really messed up my start.
Yeah.
I fell down, I think, to P6. I was like, oh, what is happening here? My tires were too cold, and I just couldn't handle the car. But after my tires were warmed up again, I think I did really well. Went up to P2 again, and it was a good race. A very good race for Red Bull itself. I think we are also first in the constructors now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's looking good for this season so far.
Yeah. Sorry, go on, Simo. Go on.
I remember commenting during the race that you had found your groove, as it were, during the track and during the course of that race, and your start. You know those opening few laps where you dropped all the way back down. You managed to find some, like you say, find your groove in the race. And just how hard is that at a track like this?
It's very hard. There are too many corners. The wall is too near to the track. It's very difficult, really. You have to keep your cool. Also, you can't drive too slow. Also, because you have to catch the cars up ahead. So, but I was feeling the track very well. I was really enjoying it today. After I fell down to P6, the thing is. I thought I have nothing to lose now, and if you think like that, you can race more relaxed, and I think that's why I went back to P2.
Yeah, well, fantastic job. obviously missing out on a chance for the win at the end, but I think still coming out of this race as championship leader, you must be quite happy with that.
Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Last season, if you look at last season and this season, there's a big difference now. The way I drive, I'm driving more mature. It's just going better and better, and I'm really enjoying it. And I hope I can do this through the end of the season, and maybe get a win.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, we hope so too. I think a great championship battle could be on the cards between you, Lawrence, and a couple others. But congratulations for today, and yeah, hopefully you can keep it up as the season goes on. And Sumo, I'll let you start with Lil Manny Man, but I just want to say before you do, congratulations, because that's your first ever podium in APPF1, so well done.
Thank you, that's true. First of all, I want to say, Sue! Yeah.
Oh dear, Manny Man. Wow. Let's go toward the end of the race there. You had a awful moment losing your front wing under the safety car. Well, after the safety car restart, I think it was, or under the safety car. I can't remember. It's never nice to crash straight after a restart, but you somehow managed to catch all the way onto the back and finish on the podium. How's that for you?
Well, it's incredible. My heartbeat is still pushing. Yeah, it was stressful to manage the last few laps. I don't remember who was behind me. I think JB Steve was pushing. Yeah, I think it was a little bit, a lot of luck because I lost my front wing after the safety car. Then I was just like, okay, let's go. Let's try to get, I don't know, maybe the fastest lap with the softs. And then safety car at the right moment. And then I saw that, I don't remember his name, the guy in front of me and the guy in the back had penalties, 6 seconds. So I tried just to play it smart. Don't crash, don't spin. Yeah. That's it. There we go.
Well, yeah, I can certainly say that it worked, and yeah, that move on JBS Steve was just the right time for you to sit ahead and take full advantage of the penalties ahead of you.
Yeah. I know I'm slow. I'm still learning. I'm trying not to pushing too much because I'm not really comfortable with all the tracks, and yeah, sometimes you just have to play a little bit smart and watching what the other guys are doing, and yeah, trying to get it at the right moment without crashing, of course.
Yeah, after that first safety car, you must have thought, well, maybe I can get a sort of top 4 finish here with all these drivers on penalties in front of me, and then of course it all went wrong. So, I mean, what was going through your head at that moment, and how did you sort of recover mentally when the second safety car came out and you realized you had a chance again?
I was trying to push with the mediums till the end. There was at 40%, I think. Yeah, I tried my luck. I was trying to stay calm. Then, just after the safety car, I was a little bit distracted and I spun. Yeah, I was thinking in my head, let's try hard, push it as much as you can. And then, yeah, the safety car at the right moment. And then I got hope again. And I was trying to hold it on and to not spin again.
Well, you certainly did that. So well done today. I'll pass over to Sumo if he's got another question.
No, I think that's everything I've I'm left to say, but well done, first podium. It's always a good feeling to get, and you know, you said something about being slow, but you know, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where you start or where you qualify or this, that, and the other. It matters where you finish, and today you finished on the podium. Well done.
That's true. Thank you very much. I just want to remember every guys from the APPF1 that I want to say thank you to you guys, because your commentary are just legendary. I have to remember that. And yeah, keep pushing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, if that's all, I think we can get on to ending the stream. But first, I think, Sumo, we've got to choose driver of the day.
Yes, driver of the day. There's a few good shouts. Let me go back through the list in a minute for the drivers, and I think, you know what, Ghost. You know, I think there's some very good candidates, but out of everybody to give it to, I think my choice is Little Manny Man.
I mean, first podium ever in APP it's got to be Little Manny Man for me. So, driver of the day for him. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, I think if it didn't go to Manny Man, it would have gone to his teammate. So
yeah. Or I mean, LB's got a very strong shout as well, of course.
LB as well, yes.
But you know, when you're Verstappening, as it were, or Hamiltoning, if we were a couple of years ago, it can be difficult to give you driver of the day. It's sort of suffering from success, as it were.
Yes, indeed. But I think Little Manny Man deserves that.
Yes.
Cool. Well, that is going to wrap things up then for tonight's Tier 2 action. Let's have a little look towards the calendar for next week. Next week we go, oh what a track, we go to Suzuka, we go to the land of the rising sun for a race at the Suzuka International Circuit. I cannot wait for that one. That one's going to be quite the race indeed, I think, if this one is anything to go by. Any comments, Ghost?
Yeah, I mean, it's a similar track in a lot of ways, especially Sector 1, snaking S sections throughout the entire sector. So it will be an interesting one. I think those on controller, obviously this is a tough track for those on controller, but Japan is similar in that way. So I think we're going to have quite a few mistakes in Japan, is my prediction, and I think the lead will change from people at the front bottling it at least more than once. That's my prediction for Japan, so I think we're in for an exciting one.
Yeah, I think so too, and hopefully the rain will hold off as we go into Japan, but you never know with motor racing. But that is going to be next week's action. But we wrap up tonight's action. An incredible race, even despite the numbers. Hopefully we can get a few more going. Thank you to everybody who watched. The chat was once again popping off, as it always does, and it's nice to see some new faces. If you've not subscribed already, please make sure you do so, and make sure you're liking any of the streams as well. Head over to the APPF1 Racing Leagues channel. That is where as many of the videos as we can are going to be uploaded, just so that they're all in one good place. Goodbye Life Bout, yes, in a moment. And do head over to Ghost's channel as well. He does some commentary action for APPF1 hit with his Onboards stream during this race, as well as over on ESRL on a Friday night. So please do go over there and check that out as well. I'm sometimes there if I'm available on Fridays. But anyway, unless there's anything else for you to add, Ghost?
Nope, that's all from me.
Alright, so that is going to be it then. It has been a pleasure commentating as always. We will see you next week as we begin the month of February. February 7th, also Alfa Romeo launch, for anybody who's wondering. But anyway, I have been Sumo.
I have been Ghost.
And I will relieve you of my waffling. Good night.